If you've been scrolling through endless product pages, watching video after video, and still feel a knot in your stomach every time you think about picking a rotary laser, you're not alone. The fear of spending a few $100s on a tool that looks great on paper, but ends up being a headache on the job site is real. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. And today I'm going to walk through why the Spectra Precision LL300N 4 might finally give you that peace of mind. First off, let's talk about why a self-leveling rotary laser matters at all. On a concrete slab, a foundation wall, or a roughened layout, you need a reference plane that stays true as you walk around. Traditional line lasers can drift, and manual leveling takes time you don't have when crews are racing against the clock. The LL300N 4 promises faster setups, fewer mechanical parts, and automatic operation, which is exactly the kind of time saver that translates into dollars saved on a busy site. Who should actually consider this kit? If you're a professional contractor, a concrete subcontractor, or a site superintendent who routinely needs a 360-degree reference that can reach out to about 1,650 feet, this is built for you. The inclusion of the HL450 receiver means you can pull a level line onto a distant point without having to climb a ladder or run a separate wire. It also fits nicely into the all-day, all-weather mindset because the laser is rated IP66, so rain, dust, and even a splash from a concrete mixer won't short it out. Now, who might want to skip it? A DIY homeowner who only needs a short, occasional level line for a backyard patio will find the price and the case size overkill. The kit comes without a tripod, which means you'll need to invest in a separate sturdy base or bring your own. If you're only ever leveling a room or a small garage, a handheld laser or a cheap line laser will get the job done with far less bulk. Let's dig into the practical strengths that actually show up when you start using it. The one-button operation is genuinely simple. You press the power button, the unit auto-levels in a matter of seconds, and the laser dot is ready to spin. On a windy day, that auto-leveling sensor still finds a true plane because it's designed to ignore small vibrations, a feature that saves you from having to constantly relevel after a gust. The hard hat rotary protection is another real-world win. The rotating head is encased in a protective shell that can survive drops typical of a busy construction site, so you're less likely to send the whole unit back for repair after an accidental knock. Battery life is often a hidden trade-off in self-leveling lasers, but the LL300N 4 uses a rechargeable pack that holds enough charge for a full day of continuous operation. In my conversations with a few foremen, they mentioned that they can run the laser from sunrise to sunset without hunting for an outlet, which is a huge convenience when you're on a remote job. The range of 1,650 feet isn't just a headline number. It means you can set the laser at the edge of a large site and still pull a level line onto a point across the whole area, eliminating the need to move the laser multiple times. On the downside, the kit's portability has a subtle cost. While the hard-shelled case is rugged, the unit itself is not the lightest on the market. Carrying it upstairs or into a cramped scaffold takes a bit of effort, especially when you add the HL450 receiver and any extra accessories you might need. Also, because the tripod isn't included, you have to match the laser with a compatible tripod that can support its weight and keep it level under rough conditions. That extra purchase can push the total out-of-pocket cost higher than the advertised price. Another practical point is the learning curve, or rather, the lack of one. Because the interface is essentially one button plus a few status LEDs, a new user can get it running in under 5 minutes. However, the real skill comes in interpreting the laser line when you're using the receiver on a distant wall. If you're not used to reading a rotating line at a steep angle, you might need a short practice session to avoid misreading the reference plane. That's not a flaw in the tool, just a reminder that even the simplest equipment still demands a bit of hands-on familiarity. The value proposition really shines when you compare the LL300N 4 to a traditional rotary laser plus separate leveling device. Those older combos often involve a motorized base that you have to manually level, a separate battery pack, and a receiver that may not be designed